Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Tennis Manager. We're on episode 18. We have new sponsorship offers for Anne, and we're going to go ahead and sign those so that we can maximize what she's getting. Actually, she has choices. No, they're all the same, right? They are not all the same. Holy cow. We have 101. That one, you don't need quite as high of a rank, but it pays out significantly less. I suppose we need to take the one that's going to pay out more. These two are the same. Contract is 2 seasons. There was finally some variation. Those 3 were the same. You can see here in the finance department just how good of a month we've had, as we already got our big payout from the board, $300,000. Now we've gotten big, almost $200,000 payments in equipment suppliers. So sponsorship contracts, that's nearly $500,000 that we've brought in. And you can see just how close we are to that mark with expenses at just $37,000. Yeah, that's a good one. And we will easily be able to afford our infrastructure upgrade, which will be done in 27 days, and we'll immediately jump into the next one, presumably at $420,000. So we'll still have a good $150,000 left over. A couple weeks back, I got a 50% evaluation complete back on Madirova at 1 star with 2-star potential, meaning not good, but better than what I've seen of late. And I almost opted to sign a 1-year deal just to get somebody in so that we could actually make a little bit of money off of that. But then this came back just today. It's New Year's Eve, 2-star current, 4-star potential estimated. We're only 50% done with the evaluation, but even if it's a bit off, we're looking at minimum 1.5 stars already confirmed, minimum 2.5 stars on the potential. And again, they're leaning towards 4, so you'd say it's probably going to be around 3.5 to maybe 4.5. And number 199 World Tour rankings already for Robin Murray. I think we have our obvious signing. She comes in with some fame already. She comes in seasoned. She's an adventurer. She's determined. And we don't know everything else about her yet, but looking like a pretty solid player who's just turned 18, but is unwilling to sign, of course. And the new season begins. It's only the 3rd of January. We already have our first tournament. Casa Seva, who we still focus on while Anne's just making cash. Casa Seva now playing in the Rookie 50 League. Remember, this season we're going to focus primarily on her development as a World Tour competitor. We're going to give her plenty of time to train. She'll have the occasional junior tournament, but she won the rankings a year ago, and maybe will still qualify for the finals at the end of the year. We'll get a second shot at that, as she's still quite young, but we want to develop her position, her role at the World Tour level. Anyway, we did rookie level 10s and crushed those tournaments. We're going to try to see how competitive she could be at the rookie 50 level. Difficult opening draw, though, as she has the number 2 seed, who's ranked at 349th. I think before long, Casa Seva should be ranked somewhere in the 400s to 500s. I think that's where she's at in terms of ability right now. And with some quick development, obviously could push above Alvarez, who we're going up against this time. And apparently she's there already, as she's able to beat Alvarez 6-1, 6-1. She's at least competitive compared to that level. You can see just how many more winners she had, though the unforced error is definitely a thing when she plays aggressive. Second round was against somebody unranked, but a couple hundred spots ahead of us in the overall rankings, and actually gave us a bit more of a challenge. We lose the opening set on tiebreakers, but then win 2 close sets to get through. 54% of the total points played were winners, and then aces 10-7 versus 11-8. Total winners 61-33. That was the obvious advantage, and the total unforced errors both committing way too many, but she does get through that second round. The seeded opponent in the other round of 16 of the tree forfeits out the second set, giving us the opportunity to go up against somebody similarly ranked to what we just did and have a real shot at making it to the semifinal. It's not going to happen, though. 3-6, 6-4, 4-6. 47% of points won. Way too many double faults on the day. 12 double faults with just 6 aces. The winner's still an advantage for us, but 52 unforced errors. Holy crap. She had a really, really bad day. And that's from her standpoint. That was not the opponent being too difficult. They did have some winners, but this was all about Casa Seva just having a poor day. But we made it pretty deep into the tournament. For one thing, it pays out a little bit. Good timing for her serve accuracy to go up. The end of the same week, we just get knocked out of a tournament where she had a zillion double faults. Her serve accuracy goes +1. A week later, we have our next tournament, Casa Seva, back down in the juniors level, the 300, leading up to our first Grand Slam. Like I said, we're still going to do some junior stuff, not much. If you saw last time, we kind of broke down what the schedule is for the first quarter of the year. We enter as the 1 seed. Of course, we're the 1 seed because we are ranked number 1. I don't know how long we'll stay ranked number 1. We probably will not be by the end of the season because of the lack of tournaments that we're going to be playing in. We did that for last year. That was the goal for last year. This year, I'd rather win the junior final than be ranked number 1. But I still want to be in those big Grand Slam tournaments because those will definitely pay out better. And that'll help with Casa Seva's lack of massive income being brought in, because at World Tour level, we're going to be in small tournaments. We're going to be doing a lot of training, and she's probably not going to get too deep into a lot of those tournaments. So this is where she kind of makes up for it. Ayala in the quarterfinal. That's one of those top-ranked opponents. 6-1, 6-4. We continue on into the semis. Semis is likely going to be the more difficult matchup, as the finals would have unseeded opponents. Brent Moyer is seeded 6th, just ahead of Ayala, and ranked 9th overall in the junior rankings. 6-2, 6-3. 24 winners, not a lot there today, but only 6 unforced errors. So despite the aggressive play, it really was a more sheltered, protective day where she kept herself in check. Didn't lead to as many winners, but she didn't make the massive amount of mistakes and ended up winning fairly comfortably. That sets up a matchup in the finals against a wild card, 40th ranked Adrieva. And it's a comfortable win, as you would expect. 6-2, 6-1, 64% of points won in this match. And that's a junior 300 tournament victory for Casa Seva. It'll have a little bit of payout for us, $4,000. Tough day for Anne. She's out in the round of 128. Does still at least bring in $14,000. Again, that's what she's there for. It would have been nice if she would have gotten through a couple of rounds, but whatever. And our upgrade is complete. $17,000 is now the revenue each month, and our expenses is 17.2. So now we're at a break-even point, obviously, until we get a new athlete signed and then have to sign another coach or two. That'll change things at that point. But in the meantime, no hesitation. We immediately go into the next upgrade, and we still have plenty left in the bank. That's going to push our revenues now to $37,000. It's going to take 7 months. We've got a ways to go, but dang, that's a huge jump. Plus $20,000 with some billboards. And we just got an evaluation back on the junior 4th ranked Elena Ita, 18 now. She's minimum 1.5 star to 3 star on the potential, but also could be much higher than that, as we're only halfway through that evaluation. She has some fame, some experience. Wouldn't be a bad option to sign for a year or 2. I don't know if she's going to be willing, but let's give it a shot, and she is. So the American Elena Ita looks to be our next one. Let's go ahead and accept the objectives. Promising player is fine with me. 1 season, also fine with me. And she's willing to go 49% right off the bat. So let's push that out a little bit. Let's see if we can get 55. And she signs. Okay. Okay, we have our next young athlete. And we're right back in Melbourne, where Anne just struggled through the senior Grand Slam. But in the junior Grand Slam, Of course, with the number 1 ranking is Casa Seva. So let's see how she fares in this one. She went out in the first round in the final Grand Slam of last season. She won't go down in the first round this time. She's on to round number 2. We jump ahead to the quarterfinal. It's Brant Moyer, who we just played against a couple weeks ago. She is the 6th seed, now up to the 8th rank as she got into that semifinal when we played her there. So that gave her a few more points, bumped her up a little bit. And you can see even in the next round, we're looking at, actually it's nothing but seeded players left. So yeah, it's not going to be an easy path at any point the rest of the way. We get past Brant Moyer, 6'3", 6'2", 57% of points won. And for the time being, we have our third athlete. Ita has agreed. We signed the contract tomorrow. We will now have 3 athletes, which also means we're going to have to go in and do some hiring of coaches as well. Nice timing. Our 1-year contract goes a full year. So it's actually just a shade under 2 years is the ultimate deal. It'll expire in November of 24, where it's only January of 23. So subtract 2 months. It's a 22-month contract that we were able to sign with Ita. So we'll have her for a good while. We don't have to worry about signing a new contract. And not quite the same deal we have for Casa Seva. Not quite as profitable, but pretty dang close for a player of very, very similar capability. We get Isabella Chager in the semifinal of the Grand Slam. I'll worry about the staffing in a couple of days. 3rd seed, 5th rank. The other semifinal is difficult as well against some players we've played against multiple times, but just slightly lower. So we definitely have the more challenging semifinal. Will we get on through? We've only gone head-to-head once, and it was a victory. And it's not a victory here. Knocked out in the semis. Chager is going to move on to the final. 46% of points won, 9 double faults, 27 unforced errors. Chager was not great either, but at 50-21, it was a lot better than our 36-20. With a payout of just under $6,000, it pushes us back up over $150,000 after the signing bonus, and then of course the infrastructure upgrade we just made. For comparison's sake, we're going to go back and forth between Casa Seva and Ita so we can see just where we're at. By the way, Casa Seva is now a 2-star player, so we've already picked up a half-star through development. So she's coming along. Ita, late bloomer. So now is not necessarily the time for her to do some rapid development. You see serve power is much less for Ita, -4, but her serve accuracy is the same. She lacks power, but she does have accuracy. Her accuracy is equal. Casa Seva is definitely a little bit better in the technical areas. Her return, Ita, I like, is better, +2. Her lob is +1. +1 on the hot shots. She's definitely a little bit lower than Casa Seva in the technical attributes, but not significantly behind, just in the power side. She's definitely got a bit less power. What about the physical? Ita, much better balance, a little bit better footwork, agility. The natural fitness for Casa Seva has been flying. It's now at 14. And just a 9 for Ita, so that's going to take a while to bring that up. But I'd say those two are pretty even in the physical department. As for mental, focus, positioning, tactical skills are down a little bit, but the confidence, composure, killer instinct, and fighting spirit that Casa Seva lacks massively is much better for Ita. So edge in this case is to Ita, but you could definitely see at this point in time Casa Seva is a bit further along, but she's been with us for nearly a year and as an early bloomer has really progressed well. Ita, yeah, she's got some work to do, but her and I already start with a strong relationship with good revenue share, and her being around for a while. So is Casa Seva, actually, for that matter. Lowell, the only one with an expiring contract this year. So before I get into our staffing, one quick note, Casa Seva just through one tournament and getting through a couple of rounds, jumps from about 850 to 775 in the rankings, putting her actually slightly above Ita. You can see they're in very similar places there. And meanwhile has gone gently back up to 36th. I think she was down to 37th or 38th, though it's been level for a week or two anyway. But we now have some vacancies. We have 6 coaching vacancies, 2 physio vacancies. And now that we're doing a little bit better financially, I'm definitely willing to do something with this. Now, first thing, a coach can do 3. So a coach can be in 3 categories, and that's it. Can't do more. So without losing effectiveness anyway. So if they could do up to 3 and we have 6 openings, 2 coaches, and voila, we are all set. I'm going to do something a little different here though. You can see as coach, I'm 4-star. And also as coach, I have to then go in and handle the matches themselves. And that hasn't gone terribly well. Right now, I want to focus on development. I want to focus on growing the infrastructure and getting off the bottom and not taking Casa Seva or Ita and turning them into the world champion. I'm trying to get us to just be competitive as a unit, as an academy. And I think the best place for that to happen, for my character anyway, is through training. Whether it be physical or tactical and mental, those are areas where I've got 5-star capability and you can't find any better. So based on that, I'm going to get out of the first-hand coaching business for the remainder of at least the 2023 calendar year, which is going to speed things along. The way that we only get feedback on how Anne is done, we're now going to get that for all 3 of our athletes. That's fine. That's fine with me. That's my intent, and that's my reasoning behind doing it. But that also means we're going to move off of there and change this out. In fact, I think I'm going to pull... Do I have to coach one of them? Looks like I have to. That's a shame. That's not what I was hoping to do. Well, anyway, I'm going to focus on the newbies. Or I can't. I can only coach one athlete. What a shame. What a shame. All right, well, anyway, we're going to get one coach in here, and then we'll get one more coach to help out in these areas. Just a trainer and not a coach. So we're going to hire one coach, we're going to hire one trainer, and we'll just make do with it. It is what it is. And at $4,000 a month, we have signed Alexandra Bitty, a level 3 coach who is pretty good. We'll see if she actually completes the deal, though. And Casa Seva has seen one of those big jumps this week. She picks up 2 levels in Killer Instinct, a level in Composure, and a level in Fighting Spirit. So this time out, she has developed those mental attributes that are so weak for her in a very good way. And you see Bitty comes in as a 3-star coach. She has signed with us, so she's now going to work with Ita. And then we also just signed Luisa Correa. Correa here has a 13 backhand, 12 forehand, decent trainer, decent technical trainer. And so that's what she's coming in to coach, technical. And we went ahead and moved Strykova off of Casa Seva as a technical trainer and put in Correa. Correa is the same, though, as Strykova on the training game plan. Actually, slightly higher, 7 for the tactics versus a 4. And then Strykova has moved down to coaching the technical training here. But with Correa, we definitely have a boost in what we had from the 1.5-star Strykova. And that's a definite upgrade now. Now, you can see that more than one coach can work with an athlete, but we are still working on that budget. We're still working on trying to maximize our profit. And by bringing in 2 new coaches, we're looking at another, $6,000 a month in expenses that we're going to have to overcome, which isn't much. In fact, our deficit monthly is now down to just that as we were coming out at break even. So we now bring in a base of $17,000 with an expense of $24,500. It's not taking much to overcome that and turn months into profit and then not have to just rely on other things to make our money. So more and more our financial situation gets better and better as we've been developing. And with 3 athletes now, the winnings are going to add up a little more easily, even though 2 of them are spending a lot of their time in the junior rankings. Ita is doing the same large tournaments as Casa Seva, and I will probably, maybe after this first quarter season, I will probably manage Ita's schedule in the same way and have her doing something similar to Casa Seva and trying to get them growing at the World Tour level so that they can make some money, but developing a lot, doing a lot of training. I don't expect Ita to level up quite as fast for 2 reasons. 1, late bloomer, not early bloomer. 2, her coach in Bitty is not as strong as we are. So Casa Seva should still be leading the way in terms of rapid development now. And that'll give her a bit of an edge. I do believe that is a good stopping point for us, though. We're early into a new season. We've played out 1 month. We've done completed an infrastructure upgrade and started the next, which was going to take 7 months. We've already played out a couple of weeks of that, so we've got half a year to go. And continuing to kind of just chug along as that middling makes it into the big tournaments, but isn't getting deep, hasn't found a lot of success, but she keeps bringing in cash for us. And then Casa Seva, rapid development, crushing it at the junior level, but not quite there at the World Tour level yet. And then now we have Ita, so new signing, a couple new coaches. I'm excited by where we're headed. And for the first time outside of a couple physio slots, coaching-wise at least, we have a full, complete roster of coaching staff that's getting the job done for us. We'll see how that aids development going forward. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.